Hello, welcome to Regular Achievers Educational Limited, presenting Royal Tutors, your trusted support for brain-friendly, high-impact learning. Today, we will be looking at mastery poetry comparison between Mother and a Distance versus Walk Away. At the end of this lesson, we should be able to approach unseen poetry comparison question with a clear, repeatable strategy, which is your test for AO1 and AO2. We should be able to write a comparative paragraph using the Peterson structure with confidence, and then the AO3. We should be able to weave relevant biography and historical context into your analysis. Now, your AO1 is also your ability to identify key themes, ideas, and speaker voices in bold text. And then your AO2 is your ability to analyze language structure forms with precision and insight, and also apply AQA masking, exceptions to self-assess, and push for higher grade. Now, we're going to be looking at the GCSE examination question on these two poems, and it states, compare how poet presents the pain of separation in Walking Away and other poems from the love and relationship cluster. And this is how you can analyze it. You're going to break the question down. First, you're going to compare, explore similarities and differences. Never write one poem then the other. Then you're also going to present, put, or consider authorian choice. Why did the poet use these techniques, and how you're going to focus on method, language structure, and form, voice, not just what happened. Pain of separation, which is the thing that you're going to zoom in every point, and then you're going to return to this phrase in every paragraph. Now, this is a quick poem summary for both poems, Mother and a Distance by Tage and Walking Away by C.D. Lewis. Now, the main idea is a son measures his new home while his mother holds the other end of the tape measure, which symbolizes their relationship as he grows up and seeks independence. And then for the tone used in Mother and Distance is a tender but anxious tone, longing for freedom yet fearful of losing the safety of the parent. Now, the speaker here is a first person, which is the son, reflecting on the emotional pull between connection and autonomy. The message in this poem is growing up means letting go of both sides. Love enables freedom. The key quotes in Mother and a Distance is, one of the key quotes is, I space walk through the empty room. Now let's look at Walking Away by C.D. Lewis. A father watches his young son walk away across a football pitch to school for the first time, a memory that has haunted him for 18 years. And this is the main idea. Now, the tone here is a reflective, melancholic, resigned, a parent living or learning to release control. Now the speaker here is also first person, the father, looking back on a formative moment of separation. The message in Walking Away is love means releasing those you love. Letting go it's an act of love. Now, one of the main quotes in Walking Away is selfhood begins / with a walking away. Alright, so let's look at the background and context of this poem. Mother Any Distance, it states that Armitage grew up in Yorkshire and was close to his parents. The poem reflects real tension between independence and family home, felt by a generation leaving home for the first time. Now, we have here extended metaphors used. The tape measure is an extended metaphor, as it was said like almost in every part of the poem, a tool for measuring physical space, and becomes a metaphor for the emotional umbilical cord. In the 1990s, Britain, social mobility at different universities reshaped family structure. Now, falling to interpretation, the domestic setting grounds universal emotions. Every reader knows what it is to be home. The text enriches how we read the lines. It's both literal and emotional. Now let's go to Walking Away, background and context. Walking Away was written by Day Lewis and his son Sin. Okay, Cecil Day Lewis wrote this poem about watching his son, John, act as actor, walk away on his first day at school. It was written 18 years after the event, showing how deeply the moment affected him. Then let's look at post-war fatherhood. Okay, it was written, the writing was in 1950s. Day Lewis reflects a generation of fathers who were emotionally restrained. The poem is remarkable for its open expression of paternal love and vulnerability. Now let's link to the interpretation. The 18-year gap shows how long the image haunted him. Separation isn't just painful in the moment, it reshapes identity. This informs the poem's reflective, resigned tone. Alright, now, where do I stay and our strategy? Now, to really attempt or get a grade 9 for these questions, you have to read the question carefully. You circle the theme, pain and separation, and write the second poem beside the name poem immediately. Then identify 2 to 3 comparative ideas. What do both poems share? What is the difference? The aim? One similarity, one difference, one nuanced poem. Then select short, punchy quotes. 2 to 6 words per poem per point. Avoid whole lines. Precision impress examiners more than learns. Now the fourth one is that you have to plan comparatively from the start. Never plan poem A, then poem B separately. Plan points plus both poems together, quote A and quote B. These will help coordinate your writing. Let's move up to step 5, which is the use of the pretzels in every paragraph. The pretzels is your point, your evidence, the techniques, analyzing the techniques, zooming, alternatives, link the poem, and then you link back to the question. Now let's see a pretzel structure of this poem. For the first one, we have the point. You're going to start your comparative point immediately. You're going to write both. For comparative, these are the some phrases or some words you can use. Both, whereas, similarly, while, for points. Why for evidence. Take a short quote from the name poem. Aim at, or you aim for 2 to 6 words only. Then for techniques, name the device. Like for the first poem, which is More Than Any Distance, we have extended metaphor, or enjambment, or dramatic monologue. Then for analysis, you say what the techniques reveals about relationships and separation. Then you have to zoom in one word or phrase. One word is okay, and then you're going to explore its connotation deeply and precisely. Then for alternative reading, you're going to offer a second interpretation. However, it could be argued that you could use that phrase. Then link to other poems. You could bring the second poem or the quotes and comparative analysis. Then link to question. For this final statement, explicitly returns to the theme and then answer the question. Alright, so let's see a modern response on this, and it is annotated. Remember the pretzel structure. Now for P, which is the point, both Armitage and Day-Lewis presents separation as our physical and emotional wrenching experience that ultimately defines the self. Now let's go to evidence where you can find it in the text. Armitage's speaker described how he space works through the empty room. And then let's go to techniques. Employing an extended metaphor of astronauts and space exploration to suggest that independence, like space, is vast, silent, and terrifying. The domestic home becomes the last further to safety. The verb, zooming in the verb work, is arresting an astronaut untethered from the aircraft has broken free or risk being lost forever. Alternative reading. Though alternatively, I beg your pardon, the image could suggest exhilaration as space working is also an act of human triumph and courage. Similarly, J. Lewis presents separation as a haunting image that never fades. Seth Wood begins with a working way, the enjambments enacting the physical acts of stepping forward as if the very syntax of the line embodies the process of becoming oneself. Now let's see the last link to the question. Ultimately, both poets suggest that the pain of separation is not a wound, but the rite of passage. The moment love releases what is most wishes to keep. Now let's see the examiner insights. What to get now for grade 3 to 4. The writer is expecting, or when you write about one poem than the other, you get a grade 3 to 4. When you identify techniques without explanation and retell the story with little analysis, and then context listing, you just list the context and not embedded, you get a grade 3 to 4. Now for grade 5 to 6, okay, some comparison using similarly or however, techniques named without comments, mostly accurate, occasional insights, context present but sometimes irrelevant, you get a grade 5 to 6. And then for grade 7 to 9, when you integrate comparison in every sentence, zoom into single words and connotations, consider alternative interpretation, and then when your context is woven seamlessly into your analysis, then you get a perfect grade 9 or a grade 7. Alright, so let's see this and check our understanding. Let's pause here and then I want you to check your understanding on this. Alright, so let's see some common mistakes to avoid. Writing all about one poem than the other. We said it before, you have to avoid it, naming one technique but without analysis. You have to avoid it. Retelling the poem story or plot, avoid it. Long context blocks at the start of paragraph, avoid it. Losing sight of question mid-essay, please try as much as possible to avoid it. Now this is what you should try as much as possible to do. Compare both sentences or compare full sentence 1. Use both whereas similarly to force integration. Armitage uses a metaphor and nothing alone. Always explain the effect and link to the theme. Then examiners know the poem, analyze how meaning is created. So don't just retell because they know the poem. And then now you are not to say what happened, you are going to say, or you're going to analyze how meaning is created. Now instead of creating long context, please, one embedded sentence per paragraph is plenty enough. So context must link directly to your quotation, and then reread the question after every paragraph. The theme should appear in your final statement each time. Alright, so this is a mini pack practice. I also want you to pause a while and then go through this with everything you should include in your paragraph given to you. Now let's see a final reflection. Now answer all three before you close your book. Be honest, this is just for you. What is one technique that Armitage and Day-Lewis use? Briefly explain why each poet uses it and what it reveals about their relationship with separation. Number 2, what is one key difference in how the pain of separation is presented in each poem? Why does these differences matter for your analysis? Whilst Armitage presents separation as this, Day-Lewis completes the statement as powerful as one. Okay, so that is it. With this, we come to the end of today's class. Thank you for watching, and then don't forget to comment and subscribe to Royal Tutors Education Limited. I'll see you again. Bye.